Welcome. Our app is called Filmfly, and our app idea is that we have an app which, using an algorithm, suggests a movie based off the user's recommendations. The use case for this is that very often people struggle to pick a movie if they're with friends or if they're by themselves with all the choices on Netflix and Amazon Prime, etc. So this app aims to get you quickly signed up, quickly getting a recommendation so that you can watch your film and enjoy the film that is recommended to you. For our app, we used on the front end Flutter and Dart. We used these not only to learn a new part of a code stack, but also Flutter has a lot of useful inbuilt gesture functions, as well as being quite user-friendly in terms of creating styling, and it's quite sleek, as well as working for Android and iPhone. As for the backend, we used JavaScript, PSQL, because our algorithm was quite a complex level of code. It was very much the core of our entire app, the core of the entire MVP. So we wanted to use a language that we knew would work, and a language that we knew would be able to fulfill the requirements in our short space of time to create this app. I'm now going to hand over to Ollie, who will go through the functionality of our app.
Thank you, Owen. I'm going to be showing you the experience of a new user. So this is the first page you'll see, a login and a sign up button. If you click the sign up button, it'll take you through a form. You can fill in your name, username, email, and password. It does have basic validation, so if you don't type in a valid email, it will throw up a little error message on the submit button. After that, it's a case of choosing your preferences. So here we have a list of 20 genres, and you can choose as many as you like, and it will patch that user with your chosen preferences. The next page is actors. It's a larger list here, a list of 50. So it's a scrollable field, and it's in alphabetical order. So it just makes it easier to choose for the user. This next page is the directors. Again, it's a scrollable field in alphabetical order. You can choose as many as you like. Once you click finish, it will take you through to the home page, where there's a list of 10 recommendations, and I'll pass over to Charlie now.
Okay, thanks, Ollie. So basically, all the user data is stored in a user table on the back end. So things like the name, the username, the email, and the password are all stored in columns on a table in our Postgres database. But along with that, we also store a dislike and like column, and also genre preferences, actor preferences, and director preferences. So basically, on the way through that form, Molly just took you through all those buttons you click are then added into a table, which is then used by our algorithm, which James will tell you more about, to produce 10 films that you're going to want to watch.
Hi, so I'm James, and I'm going to talk about the algorithm for Filmfly. So with this, I just made this diagram before creating the algorithm, just so we had a good idea of what we were going to do. So what we take into account is that every aspect of like genres and actors and everything has a certain percentage of a score. So it will never go below 0, it'll never go above 0, but what it does is it multiplies by the percentage to take that into account in the scoring of which films it will pick. So with that, if a new movie is liked, if the genres will increase by a certain percent, that scoring for the genres that are in that movie will increase. If it's disliked, it'll decrease by a certain percent. Same with the actors, directors as well. And the difference is with the genres, the score starts at 50, so it has the potential to go down and up. With actors and directors, it's a little bit different because we didn't want to include every actor and director that's been in every movie. It starts at 0, and then if it's liked, they're bumped up on any future occurrences of where they could be recommended. And also a difference with this is that if an actor is preferred, or a genre is preferred, or a director is preferred, it will only decrease by half, and it will never go below 75%. So that just means that regardless of how many times you dislike a horror film, if you put that as your preference, it's still going to be recommended. So you'll just have to go in and change that. Genre scores are weighed more highly than the actor scores, as you would see there as well. Here's an example of the user profile as well. I'll just quickly go through. So here's an example of how it would look at the start. So there's your preferences, and they're scored as 75, as you can see there. And in this instance as well, this is what it's like after seeing a film. So you can see that scores have changed here depending on the film. So Cars is disliked and Batman Begins is liked. So you can see how, especially down there with adventure and animation, how that is affected. And yeah, now I'll pass on to Ben, who will talk about the logging in to the front end and returning as a user.
Right, so as you can see, we've got the app recommendations. You can then swipe through to see which ones you want to watch. When you've decided, you can click like. That will then send it to a watch list. You're also able to log out on the app and then log back in, and the watch list will still be there. You can also reset your preferences, and you can put in your preferences again, and that will generate you a new set of recommendations. And now I'll pass on to Phil.
Thanks, Ben. That is our app, Filmfly. To recap, it's a movie recommendations app which works on both Android and iOS thanks to being built in Flutter. It uses a Postgres database to store all the user data and uses Postgres SQL JSON queries and a rating system to create the algorithm which spits out 10 recommendations for the user. We then combine this with the OMDB API to generate what you see on the screen, so the actual images and the films. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and thanks for listening.